What's up, internet? Today we're doing another fun little kind of upgrade video, and this is centered all around enrichment, specifically for the snakes. As you can see, we're in our main snake room. So, enrichment's a word gets thrown around a lot these days, and I think that we're, as a whole hobby and community, we're taking small little steps to get there. But, I think we still need to show that a little bit more. So, like, the YouTube personalities like me and other people who are infinitely more popular, small little steps to show taking things in the right direction. So, as you can see, there's a lot of racks in here, because this is where we actually do a lot of the breeding the snakes. A lot of the pets and the more display animals are upstairs. Down here, it's almost all ball pythons and some boas. So, what we're going to do, because I'm not a very successful or really money smart ball python breeder, I'm putting a lot of our animals in these larger containers like this. So for instance, we have Brandy, our big girl. She is in one of these very large tubs. Here is all of this substrate, and you can see there is some stuff. I need to pull the whole thing out, and I'll show you, and we'll do a few more videos. I'll show you a few more snakes in here. So as you can see, she has a hide back there. There's a log back there. I know you can't really see it too well. I think she has a hide. No, she does. I forgot we took it out for breeding. But, there's different little things in here. We try to mix up the substrate. So small little steps like that to show that we are, in fact, going to do that. That being said, I wish I could sit here and put all of my animals in 4x2 and 6x3 cages, but I don't have the money to open up a whole reptile zoo, and no, I am not poo-pooing people who are opening up reptile zoos. That is 100% awesome, amazing that people are taking the next step, but that requires a lot of money, and I don't really have that unless, like, all of a sudden a million of you guys show up and all donate $5, which isn't going to happen anytime soon. So, little steps. So here we go, enrichment. We have a bunch of little hides to put into our subadults that we'll do in a little bit, and then we have a bunch of logs that I cut down from trimming trees, stripped the bark, bleached them, baked them, all that fun stuff to sterilize them. And then we got this, you guys. Look at all of this. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. So, I'm just going to go through and add these to a bunch of racks to show that, we're going to do a little bit better for our animals.
We're just going to get right into this. So lots of different stuff. I apologize a little bit in advance if it can be a little bit jarring. Don't always have a camera person to help me do this, and so I POV a lot of the enclosure things when I'm by myself. And I had to speed it up a little bit because I took a lot of B-roll, and I want to make these a little bit digestible. So sorry about that, but I think this will still be really fun. So from the ground up with the racks that I'm doing, so, moving away from paper towels, just paper and all that jazz, although I didn't really use a whole lot of that, or I haven't for quite some time. But revamping, adding new stuff. So from the ground up, we have the thick layer of substrate, depending on the species. We have the cocoa husk. I think this is Cocoa Blocks is the brand that I got from here, where there's a local guy here who distributes it and sells it, and so I buy it from him at a good kind of like bulk price. And then, a very large water bowl for soaking, although they usually don't do a whole lot of soaking unless like the heater is on really a lot. And then it really dries out because the humidity in here does really well. The dishwasher safe hides that, we cut with the soldering pen like you've seen in the other videos that I've done. And then convenient labeling to make it easier for me and anyone helping me, because I do need help sometimes with this, because this many snakes, sometimes it takes a lot of time. And so this girl is going to be a really good future breeder. So like I said before, with this thick substrate, this kind of helps add a little bit of enrichment to it because they can bury down if they want. It also provides a large amount of humidity that they need specifically for these ball pythons. For these smaller ones here, I'm doing actually two different hides, one on the hot, one on the cool side. Because it also kind of helps with their security a little bit, plus lots of the little decor so here's the little banana pied boy. So, that's a pretty big water dish that a lot of people would use, but I like to use the big water dishes also because I found them at a really good price, and so that's what I'm going to use. Just going to go through and show quite a few different ones. Here's a bigger one. This girl's actually gravid. She'll be hopefully popping out some of our first babies here soon. The super orange dream that we held back. And so all of these things can be moved around. They're not so large they can't be moved. We continuously turn over the substrate to help with aeration of it, as well as dumping water bowls to help maintain humidity. which is another thing that can be changed up. The foliage can all be removed. It all can be washed, so that way that can be changed up, which is different for them. The hides can be moved around, which is good for them. And then, I'm usually doing some sort of trimming or like tree trimming or maintenance where I can have branches that I'm continuously changing up and adding and then discarding if, they eventually get a little too degraded or soiled or something like that. Here's our little Baja Cape Gopher snake. So, they're not all on the coconut. He does a little bit better with the aspen bedding because he doesn't need quite as much humidity. So, even the larger ball pythons that you saw there, they are getting quite a bit of stuff. Here's our subadults right here, so a larger hide. Here's Callie, our big pastel girl. So, she's a little big for a hide. The rack itself kind of acts like a hide. That maintains to be 100% true because even though there is light available, because they're opaque, but they're fairly translucent tubs, so there is light that I keep in the room in a 12-hour cycle, it still acts as a bit of a hide for them. And then, nice big fresh water, big water bowl, and, a larger tub for them to be able to fully stretch out. I think that's kind of one of the biggest complaints that a lot of people have is that, they don't give them enough space for the size of the animal they are. Ball pythons, they do very well in rack systems. That's what we have found to be the case. Not all snakes do well in racks. In fact, some snakes require basking, and even some snakes require UVB. Not many, but they do in fact require it to maintain health. But that we have found consistently that ball pythons can do very well in racks. We just have to do a little bit better about it. So here's a little step about that. And once again, I'm not bashing racks. I'm not bashing anybody who is, as I said before at the beginning of the video, doing the large reptile zoos and stuff like that. We all want to be able to do that. Let's be honest. If we could all have our own private reptile zoo that we could have and show off our cool animals, we would do that every single day. But since we can't, let's do this. And so, as I said before, I do breed snakes. I do try to breed some reptiles, and, I don't have that large of a setup. Maybe pretty big for some, basement breeders, if you want to call us that. But, because of that, I can go the extra mile a little bit, The Cocoa Blocks, they are a little bit more expensive than like a roll of paper towels, but it makes cleaning easier for spot cleaning, and yeah, eventually it'll be more to dump the substrate out on a as-needed basis. But I think in the end, it's honestly for the best, I love to be able to watch these guys interact with it, and you can tell that they know something changes whenever you turn the substrate, you add something new, the branches, the different hides like this. Also, by the way, check out Target for these hides. Not necessarily they have these, but there's quite a few different ones that they have that I found that are fairly inexpensive. So here are the larger racks that I showed you earlier before, those big 74-quart racks for our adult females, and I'm working on building more racks like that. So that was Maya, our basically pet, but here's Virginia, our big Enchi girl. There's a hide, there's a stick, there's the logs, there's all the fake plants, and it's such a larger enclosure for these snakes, these 4,000 gram ball pythons that a lot of people would still be keeping in 41 quarts. I'm gonna do my best to keep them in larger enclosures. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, hopefully gave you some ideas that you want to do in the future, and I hope you enjoyed it very much. Yeah, finish with a boa because I love my boas. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out our other content. Please like and subscribe, and we'll check you next time.